I'm really honored to be here today. And it's a privilege, it's a great honor that we are here today to talk about women's safety. Why women's safety is important today. Today we are here to ask a very pertinent question. Is our nation safe for women and girls? To answer that, we need not look very far in history, but just ponder upon the many incidents of violence and crimes meted out against women and girls in our country every day. As a social entrepreneur working for freedom and dignity of survivors of human trafficking and at-risk women and girls in North Bengal, I have seen firsthand how often our judicial system has time and again led our women and girls down by not prioritizing perpetrators' accountability effectively. Geeta is one such woman that we have restored, is a victim of commercial sexual exploitation, now living a life of freedom, dignity, and hope. After her rescue from one of the Asia's second largest red light area, that is Sonagachi, there was no conviction in her case simply because she could not testify against her perpetrator. There was no, she did not have the courage. Why? Geeta shares that the person who sold her into sex trade was known to her. Geeta now shares that she decided to run away with the man who later sold her simply because she was sexually assaulted by another man, someone in her family also known to her. She lived in shame and dignity that if she ever asks for help, nobody will believe her. Before I came here, I told Geeta that there is now a women's safety app. Her words were, I wish there were this kind of means and tools to report when I was trafficked and sold into sex trade. Maybe my rescue would have been sooner. But I'm glad so many girls like me will now be smarter and more equipped. We are here today because we do not want women like Geeta to live in silence, tricked, trapped, and trafficked. Before we dive into the statistics, I want each of you here today to understand that these statistics are not just data, but they are lives like Geeta who are sold, innocent lives sold and lost. So we'll now look at some data. Can somebody help me with? So, with my experience working in this field, we often hear that why women and girls are not safe. And to corroborate that, we'll look at some recent National Crime Records Bureau data and try to have some clarity on that. So there's 15% rise in crimes against women cases in 2021. Can we go to the next slide, please? A total of 428,278 cases of women in 2021. Next slide. And this is a spike we see that 56,775 cases, a spike comparatively from 2020. So that's why we are here today to talk about women's safety. Can we go to the next slide? And Assam, which is very near to where I am from the northern part of Bengal, which has borders which has close borders with Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and neighboring states like Assam and Guwahati are our neighboring states. So we see that there is a highest rate of crime in Assam. But these are a data which has been recorded. Let me tell you with my experience in the field that there are many places, many cases which are not reported. And Delhi, the second rate of crime against women. We can go to the next slide. Odisha, the second highest rate of crime against women. And Rajasthan, highest number of rape. So this statistics can go on. I specifically want to pause and talk a little bit on Delhi's being the most unsafe city, metro city for women. Delhi has the maximum number of CCTV cameras in the world as per their claim. But when they corroborated the data, 73% of the CCTV camera were not working because in 2021, as per the NCBR report, there were 2 girls who were raped for 2 years. Why? That's why we are here today, that we have to stand in that gap. And is effective policing enough is our question. More victims and survivors that we have worked with and our partners that they work with testified that dialing 100 the help never came when they wanted. When they were in trouble, dialing 100 never helped. Can we go to the next slide? And the next. And also Delhi, 36%, I also want to highlight here that 36% of dowry deaths happened in Delhi as per the 2021 NCBR report. Moving on. So this is some for you to compare that why we are here to talk about women's safety. The next slide. I also want to highlight quickly before I end to talk about why in a digital era like we live in today, why a social media, why an app, why are we talking about this app? Because we've seen in the past, in the recent past, that Me Too, how many of us know here what is about the Me Too movement? Okay. So as a society holders that we work for women and girls, we often tell that we need to be sensitive and empathize and put down our psychological barrier as well. A lot of survivors that I counsel, I'm also a non-clinical counselor, they tell me that after 2 years when I went to report about the sexual abuse that was meted out to me when I was a 12-year-old girl, the police often asked me, why are you coming now? You know, this is the psychology. And we as a society need to be aware of the current crisis, crimes, challenges women and girls face every day. Only then we can empathize, empower them, both men and women, to end the gender-based discrimination, inequality, and violence. Women's safety is a women's right issue, which is indeed a human rights issue. Do we agree on that? Yes. So creating an atmosphere for women and girls to feel safe and secure. And our language, we often hear the language condones. As a sensitive men and women in society, we have to be sensitive on how we use our language. When a survivor comes out and says that, yes, this happened to me. Moving on. I also want to, can we go to the, go back? The next slide, please. The next. No, I want you to go forward, sorry. Yeah, so I also want to talk, I think it's in the next slide, about the pandemic, that how the data says that during pandemic, the number of distress call were hiked up globally, not only in India. A lot of people, my friends, they said, oh yeah, in India there were issues, but we were fine. But let me tell you, let me give you some statistics here. So before that, I want to say that 6 months of lockdown, cases of gender-based violence were unprecedentedly on rise. And as per the UN report, pan-India and globally, Singapore, 33% of domestic violence cases were there. There were distress calls. Cyprus, 30%. France, 30%. Argentina, 25%. So my hope today is that app, I'm Safe app, is not only relevant in India, but globally. And less than 40% of women who experience violence reported that this case, they never went to ask for help. Only 40% went ahead and asked for help. So we are here today for the remaining 60% so that they are not silent. And I Am Safe app will make sure that their voices will not be silenced. And moving ahead. So before I end, I want you to leave this thought with you. Every 74 seconds, a case of crime against women is registered. Let that sink in for ensure that women and girls will be safe. And the need of the hour is action, but collective action, not one stakeholder, but all stakeholder. I'm so happy that here we are, church, a digitally equipped institution, organization, law enforcement agency. We are here all together because we believe in this. And amplify women's issue by collective action of all stakeholders coming together, of both men and women, starting a dialogue in our homes, our offices, communities, in all spaces, bringing about a systemic change. Let us all get loud for safety of women and girls in our country. Thank you.